Go where time leads you. Remember to be excellent and party on, dude.
Party on. Excellent. Nope, not talking about Wayne's World.
Excellent.
But Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. They just so happen to have the same catchphrases.
Excellent!
Both also premiered at almost the exact same time. The first Wayne's World sketch aired on SNL on February 18th, 1989, just one day after Bill and Ted hit theaters.
Wayne's World! Wayne's World! Party time! Excellent!
Now there is a totally excellent EYDK fact bomb. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is 31 years old.
No way!
In a new sequel, Bill and Ted Face the Music hits theaters, or VOD, or somewhere this summer.
No way!
It was originally supposed to drop on August 21st, then August 14th, and now August 28th. We hope. While some of their slacker motifs are a bit dated, the movie still holds up thanks to its infectious energy and righteously positive worldview.
Be excellent to each other.
And all that fun and optimism carries over to Bill and Ted the Animated Series, which is also a fun-loving ride through history with lots of classic rock references.
By the time we get to Abdul's record store, the new Iron Maiden CD will most certainly be all sold out.
Alright, I'm pretty sure they're talking about Iron Maiden's No Prayer for the Dying. Anyway, like the movie, this show completely disregards the rules of time travel and messes with important historical figures with zero repercussions. It's like the anti-Back to the Future, since that movie illustrated how messing with history had major ramifications.
You must not see anybody or talk to anybody. Anything you do could have serious repercussions on future events. Do you understand?
Which is so not this show. Check out how they ruined poor Shakespeare's career.
Oh, why didn't I become a butcher, a baker, or a candlestick maker like my mother wanted?
But here's the bogus part about Bill and Ted the Animated Series. It messed with its own time continuum and unleashed upon viewers a dark, dystopian version of the show that ultimately got canceled.
A most heinous turn of events, Bill.
I'll explain how and everything you didn't know about Bill and Ted the Animated Series.
Most triumphant!
Real quick, before we get into it, guys, please continue to tell us what shows, movies, and even video games you'd like us to cover right there in the comments. Cool? Now back to your regularly scheduled program. So, the real title of the show is actually Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. They just added an S, which fits in perfectly with the slacker vibe.
Major brain drain.
And if that's not confusing enough, get this. They made a live-action TV show in 1992, just 2 years after this show aired with the exact same title.
A society based on the philosophy and lessons learned during Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
Did Bill and Ted come up with these titles themselves?
Yeah!
Actually, maybe they wrote it too, because this show was wild.
Dude, your mom is gouging my teacher's eye out. It's so cool.
Please let us know if you remember this at all.
Dude, you gotta stop him.
She's your mom.
Now, as we've mentioned on this series before, adapting a hit movie into an animated kids show wasn't rare in the 80s and 90s. There were animated shows for Police Academy, Ghostbusters, Ace Ventura, and even Back to the Future, which had a dope-ass theme song. And before you ask, there was no Wayne's World animated series, though it almost happened last year.
We don't know, there might be a Wayne's World animation. What? We'll see what happens there.
Would you want it?
Hell yeah, we want a Wayne's World cartoon. How is that even a question? We did get a pretty sweet Wayne's World Super Nintendo game though. Now, almost none of these adapted shows use the same cast as the movie. Maybe 1 or 2 voices, but not the whole main cast, except for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, which means Keanu was back, baby. Whoa. More on Keanu coming right up. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures only ran for 2 seasons made up of 21 episodes and premiered on September 15th, 1990, which is the same day as the 4th annual Battle of the Bands from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
I am Bill S. Preston Esquire, and I'm Ted Theodore Logan. Together, we are Wild Stallions!
See, they're having so much fun up there, just like the show.
We are simply Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan, but together, we are Wild Stallions!
Which means Keanu Reeves was back to play Ted Theodore Logan with plenty of whoas to go around.
Whoa!
This wasn't a huge deal at the time since Keanu wasn't a star yet in 1990. He was still a year away from Point Break.
Think taxpayers would like it, Utah, if they knew that they were paying a federal agent to surf and pick up girls?
Babes.
Big one.
The correct term is babes, sir.
So getting him for the series wasn't much of a stretch, but bringing back George Carlin as Rufus was.
I was just showing some Inca dudes how to make popcorn.
Right.
Really? See, a little withered corn, a little warm oil.
How can you not love Carlin's signature sarcasm and uniquely weird way of boiling himself in hot oil to make popcorn? Show's wild.
Voila, popcorn.
I wonder why he signed on in the first place. And you can tell it's an issue when he gives his own record a shout out in the show.
This looks most amusing.
Also, Alex Winter returned as Bill S. Preston Esquire, who's the brains of the group.
What color is an orange?
Ted, you bonehead. Its color is the same as its name, just like a lemon.
Actually, not by much though. Speaking of Alex Winter, anyone remember this? I love this flick. Should we do an EYDK on it? Let me know, because my vote is for yes.
I don't know how to repay you for this.
You could wipe my ass.
Anyway, not only did they keep a lot of the same actors as the movie, but they also kept the settings the same. The dudes still go to San Dimas High School and hang out at the Circle K, or a place that vaguely looks like a Circle K. And they're still getting in trouble with Mr. Ryan, with the great Bernie Casey back to scold the dudes and initiate the plot.
Tomorrow is career day. I don't suppose you boys have lined up a speaker like you were supposed to.
The original cast really made this show feel authentic. It really felt like an extension of the movie, like a hidden sequel, which is a big deal for adapted shows, which sometimes would bear little resemblance to the movies themselves, like this for example. Did that lady just turn into a purple beaver? We may need to cover that in a future episode. Now, unfortunately, those great actors would all depart Bill and Ted after season 1, but more on that later. But beyond the main cast, this show had some incredible guest stars in season 1, like when the guys had an epic jam session with Baby Mozart and Little Richard, the real Little Richard. It also featured Phil Hartman and even Jonathan Winters, who I think played this Medici-looking dude right here.
This burns my brownies. 20 years ago, I sent you to China for a rice, and all you bring back is a flounder.
Let us know in the comments if you think I'm right.
Now, what was I saying?
Oh, you know what? I'm also going to count Eddie Van Halen, even though he never actually appeared, but just because they mentioned him a whole bunch.
You even have any idea what classical music is?
Anything written before 1978?
And anything by Eddie Van Halen.
Though my favorite star of the show is the phone booth. It's such a great idea for a time travel vehicle because nobody knows what they are anymore and they seem super mysterious. Here's a question, is it cooler than the DeLorean? Let us know in the comments. My vote is for the DeLorean. Also, that phone booth used CGI, which was some of the first ever on national TV, and it looked pretty solid. Man, that thing is durable, built to last, even though they're all basically gone.
Please cut this call short as we must make a pit stop.
Now, getting all that voice talent was really important for CBS. Judy Price, the vice president of children's programs at CBS, explained that, and I quote, "They bring a whole degree of credibility to the project," end quote. And she's so right. They even make exposition sound fun.
Our mission, should we decide to accept it, and we do, is to house sit for the dude next door.
Season 1 was a picture-perfect representation of everything we loved about the movie, with a little bit of cartoon physics thrown in, like how these characters can suddenly just run underwater. That's classic cartoon right there. Season 1 follows the same formula as the movie, which is important because Season 2 was a drastic change. Here, Bill and Ted are still trying to get through school by passing various school assignments.
Ted, in the past, when faced with a similar scholastic predicament, what have we done? Flunk? Besides that, we can go back in time to when the coin was made. Excellent!
Or trying to keep the band together in a great episode written by Batman the Animated Series writer, Paul Dini.
There is no use continuing to play music
no one wants to hear.
But my favorite episode centered around Bill and Ted trying to fix really small problems by needlessly traveling through ancient history. Like when Ted wrecks his dad's Plymouth and goes back to the first Thanksgiving where he inspires the naming of Plymouth Rock.
We were hoping one of you could declunk our Plymouth.
Pray tell, what's a Plymouth?
Well, it's about as big as that exceedingly splendid rock over there.
Alright, that's clever and all, but couldn't they have just traveled back to the moment before they wrecked their dad's car? But you know what? That's what I love about those episodes. Bill and Ted are too dense to figure that out. Though there are some cool episodes that deal with the time travel paradox.
Whoa, what if he never lost a watch in the first place? We could time travel back to when he lost it and borrow it for safekeeping until now.
While the premises felt like a natural extension of the movie, I was even more impressed how they incorporated small details and side characters that I loved, like the princesses.
Princess babes! Remember us?
Ah! Wild Stallions!
They also bring back Ted's little brother, Deacon, though he got a new voice actor and new cartoon stink lines.
Ted, if you were me, what would you do?
Use soap. You still stink.
Thanks, Ted. You've been a real help. Not.
And of course, there's the three most important people in the world. I also like the way the opening song is the kiddie version of everything you'd expect, bodacious riffage included.
Bill and Ted's excellent adventures. It's a party, that's for sure.
Oh, and they still have that weird crush on Bill's way too young stepmom.
Bill, your father and I are going to buy a new coffee cup. You boys have fun.
Wow, Bill. Your stepmom, Missy, sure is nice.
Alright, is it me or it feels like they hit you with the music cue of attraction and then they pull back and play it safe? No? Either way, a little problematic.
It's your mom, dude.
Also, isn't it creepy that his dad, a middle-aged man, is married to a high school student?
Your stepmom is cute, though. Shut up, Ted. Remember when I asked her to the prom?
Shut up, Ted!
I guess the 90s were different, because how was this ever normal and not questioned when the movie came out? Not to mention that they made Bill's dad even chubbier and older looking in the TV show.
Actually, Bill, we could hear you boys quite well from the kitchen.
Which is only one of a few small changes from the movie. Like how it seems that Bill and Ted didn't get to keep those sweet guitars from the end of the first movie. Also, Ted's father is no longer Captain Logan, but Detective Logan. Is that demotion? Yeah, I think it is. And Mr. Ryan is promoted to vice principal. Otherwise, they kept almost everything the same, like all the revisionist history. Remember when the dudes accidentally kidnapped Napoleon during a battle of Austria and it didn't matter? Same thing in the show, like when Bill and Ted bring about peace between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans.
My partner and I will prepare you a feast.
A feast! Food! I love food!
Let us putteth our differences aside.
Or when they stopped Julius Caesar from being assassinated in a most excellent Roman holiday.
You boys saved my life.
Shouldn't that stuff change something?
I, Caesar, proclaim this Bill and Ted Day, and in honor of this day, I have minted a one-time only collector's item commemorative coin.
You see what I mean when I say it's totally the anti-Back to the Future? They can do whatever they want and it doesn't matter. I mean, Marty isn't supposed to interact with his relatives in the past, yet these guys had no clue.
Hurt the dad, come in, please.
So the characters in the show never had to pay the price for messing with the time continuum, but the viewers did when executives started messing with the show's own development and turned it into something pretty unrecognizable.
FBI, boys and girls, you are coming with us, son.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures is the tale of two timelines. The good, the first season, and the second season. It's like Back to the Future 2, where you see exactly how messing with a good thing creates a horrible alternate dystopian timeline. Or this.
Won't you move in? Could you move in?
Mr. Radish's condominium? I grew up with this dude.
An old dude asking kids to move into his condo. That's not cool. Also, what's with this weird Troll 2 scream? You know the one, this one.
Oh my God!
How did this happen though? Well, season 1 episodes aired on CBS and did very well in the ratings. It probably did so well because the episodes ran before Pee-wee's Playhouse. missed that show. And after Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You got all new episodes of those radical reptiles battling the bad dudes and scarfing down the pizza. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then bum a ride on some intense trips through time with a totally new show. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
Now that's a sick-ass lineup.
Outstanding!
Sadly, according to a fan theory, the show ran over budget and was dropped by CBS after the first season.
No way!
But we have to give them major props because the budget really showed up on screen. Just check out these cool sets.
Look at this name, Leonardo. If anyone can help Rufus, it's gotta be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
After Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey hit theaters in 1991, Fox pounced on the opportunity to build a larger Bill and Ted extended universe. After all, it was a perfect time because there were Bill and Ted comic books, video games, and even cereal.
Awesome cereal duels.
Who gets the last ball?
He does. New Bill and Ted. Excellent cereal.
It's most excellent!
And as we all know, once you get your own cereal, you've made it, baby.
It's cool. Teaming up with Mr. T.
So, Fox greenlit the aforementioned live-action series with the exact same title. And they picked up the second season of the animated series and retooled it to tie more directly into the live-action series.
We are Wild Stepmom!
They also switched production studios. Season 1 was produced by Hanna-Barbera and featured the studio's classic smooth animation style.
Whoa! All right!
Which is not to say there weren't some glaring errors, like when this character's color completely changes on the close-up.
It is truly a most excellent party.
But Fox switched season 2 to Deacon Entertainment, where the animation became, unfortunately, much choppier.
We were fortunate, Bill. We did not destroy a most renowned work of art. What?
Uh-oh!
And they also altered the designs. They tweaked Bill and Ted's clothes and colors, but also changed Ted's eyes from black dots to big eyes with irises. And then they even reused a bunch of settings and characters like Columbus.
But Mr. Columbus, what about discovering America?
Or Da Vinci here.
Look, Ted, it's Leonardo. Remember us?
On top of that, all of our favorite voice actors were replaced with their counterparts from the live-action series. So Christopher Kennedy replaced Keanu as Ted.
I am Ted Theodore Logan.
Although, doesn't sound too far off.
Excuse me, Mr. Producer Puppet Tid.
Evan Richards replaced Alex Winter as Bill.
I'm Bill S. Preston Esquire.
And he, on the other hand, doesn't really sound anything like him.
Just last week, we played a benefit for the San Dimas Volunteer Fire Department.
Oh, wow.
Yep, they're talking to a wind-up puppet. But nobody underwent a bigger change than Rufus, who suddenly became British.
Cheers. I say, this tea is jolly good.
Nah, I'm just playing. That was just for one episode. But the retooling didn't stop there. They also changed a lot about what made the show so fun. They gave the phone booth the ability to turn into a micro-sized Squint phone booth.
Squint is the new alternative long-distance phone service of the future, William. You can journey into books, CDs, videos, games, movies, and the most exciting of all places.
So they could then travel into TV shows like Leave It to Badger.
This is it! Codger country!
Oh, and even People's Bodies. Surprised I forgot that.
We must be in the coach's pot belly. And there's his belly button. Coach is an innie!
They also started doing more TV and film parodies, which is all good, but not really what made Bill and Ted so fun to begin with.
If you build it, most assuredly, they will come.
It feels like a different show, like when the guys went back in time to babysit themselves.
Look, it's our own little cute selves. Excellent!
Doc Brown's head would have exploded. Deke even changed the intro drastically, which takes them to outer space where they meet some crazy space monsters for some reason. Did they just get eaten by the moon? This show went totally bonkers. They abandoned what made the show and the movie so dope. They lost the fun revisionist history, the infectious energy of the cast, and most importantly, their incredible chemistry.
Ready, partner? After you, my esteemed colleague.
Ooh, they do get better.
And it just goes to show that Back to the Future was totally right. If you meddle into affairs that you're not supposed to, it can have very grave consequences. Like, remember how I sent myself through time in the episode for Back to the Future 2 last year?
Don't say what you're planning to say at the end of this video.
What? Why? I'll be fine.
No, not you, the comments. Something's gotta be done about the comments. What if, what the f are you? I'm gonna be fine. Just let me do what I do. All right. I'm only you from the future. Me, I guess, right?
Yeah, so 2020 may be my fault, y'all. My bad, I'm so sorry.
This is as heinous as it gets.
Are you hyped for the new Bill and Ted movie? Which do you like better, Back to the Future or Bill and Ted? Movies and cartoons. Let us know in the comments. Again, I'm so sorry.
Big mistake, dude. Yeah, but the music was most excellent.
Thanks for watching. For new episodes I drop every other week, subscribe over there. And for more EYDK, make sure you click or touch or whatever you do over there. Sweet, bye.